Hello and welcome back. Gonna have a bit of fun today. We are continuing the Hot Lap Challenge and we're at a very fun track. So thanks for joining me today. I'm very excited to get going. Hope you're all doing well. So today we are at the classic version of Long Beach, in particular the late 1970s, early 1980s version of the track that F1 used to go to once upon a time. It's had a few different layouts. The modern one is great, and there was a fun one in the 90s as well, but I'm a big fan of this one. So, as you'll see in a moment, this is a 3.2 kilometer track with 14 corners, each of them going to be a bit interesting. And over those 2 miles, if you want to go with that way, we're going to be testing a good set of classic sports cars, some race cars, then ultimately Formula cars, Formula 1 and Indy. So if I just show you this. Just like usual, we have our classic leaderboard where we have the cars of the day. This is their first set, so we're starting strong, starting with very beautiful American cars. The Corvette C1 from 1959. And we're going to be following the Chevy Corvettes as throughout their generations. So we're starting with the C1. We then fight against the Ford Mustang. we have the Grand Sport Roadster version of the Corvette again, which is a beautiful addition by the World Sports Car group. The Shelby Daytona Coupe, or Coupe. And then to fight against that American muscle, we have the Lotus Elan, which I believe this version, without the roof, did race in America as part of the SCCA. It definitely will not be able to beat them on the straights, but there's some tight, twisty bits through Pine Avenue, which we'll get to see in a bit, where I think it could really show itself quite well. We then take a big leap up to the Group 5, the DTM turbo-powered machines of the Ford Capri and the Lancia Beta Monte Calvo? Something like that. So that's our first set, and then we'll move on to the even faster machines. We'll start off with a Can-Am car, and then switch it up between F1 and IndyCar throughout the 70s and 80s there. And finally, just for a bit of fun, the GT cars from the early 2000s. It's going to be a bit fun. This track is quite an older one now, so the bumps can be a bit brutal where you do have bumps. And I think, to be honest, we should just go straight into it. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I know it's been a moment, but I've been having a bit of fun. Recently I've been at Silverstone for a bit and seen a few classic cars, the 60s, Elans and things like that. There were a few Mustangs as well. But then I also had some pre-war cars that I saw that, I'm not sure if you've seen it, there's the Alfa Romeo, I want to say 158? So basically a car that was at the same time that the Mercedes was so dominant around the rest of the world. Some really classic stuff. It's been so much fun. I was thinking about doing Silverstone, but Long Beach, IMSA is about to race there, or IndyCar maybe as well. So I thought I can't miss this. So we are starting with the lovely Corvette, and just to take a look around with this thing. The dawn of American racing, really, and it's going to show it. It's not the easiest car. There's not going to be as much grip, and with how I've set this competition up, I'm not doing any setup work unless there's something really, really wrong with the car, and I have a less grip on the track. So yeah, let's just hope I can keep it in a straight line. So, hopefully the audio's okay. I'll just... it doesn't sound too bad, but just let me know if there's any issues. And without any further ado, let's get going. So it's quite a different looking Long Beach. There are a lot of the same corners, or at least parts of the same roads, but there's a whole different area that IndyCar and IMSA just don't touch it. Mainly this big old hill, Ocean Boulevard, I believe. So that's where the pits are and where the start line is. But that's not the same as where the finish line is. Just to, because why not, I guess. For the purpose of this, we'll get our times on the traditional start finish straight, the more modern one rather. So you'll see those times appearing in the top left of the screen. But yeah, we'll have this outlap and then up to 3 laps where we can really push the cars and see what times we can get. I don't need to have all 3, but if I have the time and I'm enjoying the car, why not? So as we go down Shoreline Drive, we have a bit of a longer wait, and we don't go anywhere near any fountains, we take the Queen's Hairpin, I believe, or West Hairpin. There's a few different names for that, really. And then there's this Pine Avenue where you have to really get your line right in these American cars. I can see the Mustang later really quite struggling with it. But the Elan, on the other hand, may gain a bit of time there. So it's not the biggest track. It won't take too long to lap the circuit. But even though this modded track is older, it still looks properly good. It fits the vibe of the late 70s, where a place that Jules Villeneuve has won it, and it's a really classic F1 drivers. Just before the big turbo power revolution. But they did have Long Beach was around when the ground effect cars came into play, and we'll get to see one of those later. If any of you have any recommendations about certain cars I could have a go at, I may have a bit of time in this stream to have a go at them. So whether you want a Mini Cooper or a Formula 1 car, whatever you want, if I have the mod or can quickly download it, I'll get it going. So we're taking our first hot lap here, making around about the 150 mark, keeping it safe as late 50s cars are not known for their braking. Get up to second gear quickly. And bump over these curves. Sliding pound, you can really hear the tyres in this car. This is an older mod, and a bit looser. Some parts of this Corvette does show its age, but with the extended physics, it is pretty good. Third gear. Nearly into fourth there. Potentially could have done it. So we missed the apex. Down Cook Corner. Just about avoiding the barriers there. That's not the best line. So we keep on going. So currently, unfortunately you may be able to hear it, I am using just the paddle shifters on the wheel that comes with the Moser R5. I am planning to get the proper H shifter, but I'll just have to find a bit of spare money somewhere for that. I loved having a go at, previously I used a Logitech G29 wheel, and I got the attachment for that so I could do shifting, and it just makes these cars feel even better. Getting a bit loose there, but that was a 155 there, so this will likely be the slowest car around this track. But it is a clean time. Some of the later cars, especially the Can-Am one, might have to wrestle with it just to get a clean lap. And it's still a bit shaky through here, but the lack of grip between the car and the track is definitely noticeable. And then you bolt down, going up the hill, but not really enough to gear down for it though. The third. Let's make a bit later here. Quickly into fourth. And the big hit into the barrier. So let's make earlier next time for that one. So this Indy corner, there's so much space, but I don't... I feel like just keeping tight is going to be better there. Yes, there is space, but lose so much time by going wide. Early onto the throttle. And we're making our way towards the end of this second hot lap. I think it's going to be slightly slower, but if we can get a good time here, that'll be nice. 153.4. That's pretty solid for this thing. This could be blown out of the water basically immediately, but it's nice to see. Once again, braking for about the 150 marker, if there was one. Some of these corners here, I feel like you have to really reload the car, get it turning already, because there is a bit of sideways, shifting, a bit of sideways movement. So almost like Rally, you need to prepare it, prepare this thing a lot more than the more modern aero machines. So as I make our way to the corner, we've made the same mistake. Make it the 100, but it is clean, so that's already an improvement. If I did work on setups, I would think about changing the gearing. I don't know, we only really touch fourth very briefly, and don't use much of the second as well. Or we don't go to the heights of the second gear. A lot of it is 4,000 RPM, something like that. Need to find a better way of pushing this thing, but that is not our problem because we are done here. That is a 153.68. So our second time was the best there. Which means it is time to put that on the leaderboard. Okay, so hopefully that has transitioned there. We achieved a 153.42, which, yeah, happy to get that in this car. Nice way to start it, no massive incidents and everything was valid. I don't even know if you can go off back on this track, to be honest, but yeah. Let's just say the Corvette is in first place, and it will remain there for about 20 seconds, because we have a powerful machine up next, the Corvette, so the Mustang GT 350R. As well, I believe this was part of the World Sports Car pack. I'll just double check as I have a look. The GTC 60s pack, which is again another amazing series of cars that is just so much fun to drive. A lot would have changed in the few years between, well, the 7 years between the Corvette C1 and the Ford Mustang. We're about to see it in real visceral detail here. I can imagine the speed is going to be pretty impressive. Okay, we are off. We are out of the pits. It's a long pit straight here, but as long as we don't hit the tyres, we don't have to complicate things. Making our way down the corner. Oh, it is going to be a bit of a dicey thing. Into second for the Indy left. For the final hairpin by what I presume is a Chinese restaurant or something? I don't know. Hopefully that isn't too loud, but do let me know if there's any issues at all. Already at 200 kilometers an hour. Just hope I can get round this corner. Braking the hairpin. Need to do a fairly good job, you know, on its outlap. You can feel the weight of the car as you go though, so the back doesn't always want to follow you until you know, put way too much throttle on and then it's ahead of you, which don't want to spin out too much here, so gotta be careful. Okay, down Ocean Boulevard. Going for the kind of 150 marker there, just to keep things safe. I feel like the brakes may be better, but just the speed increase of this V8 engine is kind of neutralized it. Let's just keep clean here. Always got to be careful of the hairpins here, especially with the modern hairpin. If you're on a single screen, it's so easy to hit that thing. Hard to gauge how much space you have, so it's quite nice to see that hairpin. It's a lot easier. Modulating the throttle just to get round the corner. Braking heavily, but we are safe. Down to Pine Avenue. Using all these curves as best I can to try and up the track's distance and do better with some of the corners. Although taking quite a narrow line towards some of these barriers, gotta be careful there. That was a bit close. Perhaps I should have gone into first gear for that and used a bit more engine braking. Oh, nearly hit the barrier. So, we're coming towards the end of the first hot lap. It's going to be faster. Can we get a 140? 143. Okay. Not a bad start. Mistakes there, but stuff to improve on. Gently getting the throttle on. Throttle also helps with turning here. Either that or just properly yanking the car towards where you want to go. It's a bit more risky like that, but if you can nail it, you do get where you want to go. That was fairly clean. Third gear. Not enough time for fourth. That's a far better way of taking the corner. hear the tyres complaining there. So we are getting towards a second hot lap. So second gear, third gear. Quickly into fourth. And I was slightly slower. We did everything right and we were slower. Okay, one final go. Way too wide there. Gonna lose a bit of time there. With these older cars, when you lose time, you can lose half a second. It's not just a tenth or a hundredth. Getting ready for that corner a bit early there, which I think helped things. Okay, so up to third gear, 180 kilometers an hour, which is so much faster than what that C1 wanted to do. Very narrow there. Fairly good exit though. We're going to take way more of this surface than last time. Let's see if that's an advantage this time. Okay, for the final time, we make it down Shoreline Drive, sorry. And that is a 1:43.28. A better time than before, so very happy with that. Okay, so what a bit of fun. Let's put it onto the leaderboard. So with that, the 1:43.28. This should appear in a second. We are 10 seconds faster than the Corvette C1. That's quite the difference. I knew it was going to be a big amount of time between the two cars, but yeah, that that thing's powerful. But not to be beaten by Ford power. We are going back to Chevrolet speed. This is the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster that you're about to see, with the GP lap style livery, which is quite a nice one, to be honest. Okay, you should see this in just a moment. Okay, so as you can see, this car is, they just chopped the roof off of it, and yeah, it still looks pretty good though. It's a proper Corvette power, so as long as I keep control of things, I could potentially beat the Mustang. We're looking for hopefully a 1:43 kind of time, so yeah, let's see what we can achieve in 3 laps. It's a very exciting car. Does not want to be in first gear for too long. It's definitely hoping to be on the main straight. Certainly desperate in the corners. I expect it to be desperate in the corners. At least you feels cool driving this kind of car, so at least that makes up for a little bit. Okay, we're into third gear. The last car we got 200 kilometers an hour. Maybe even more, but got another 13 kilometers on it there, so this thing has some pace. does it have brakes? A bit heavy, but it definitely does. Feel of the simplicity of how the engineers worked on this car. You know, it was just simply hop off the roof, let's lose a bit of weight, let's see if we can go faster. Which I love the ambition. It's a good way to learn. On to Ocean Boulevard here. Down to what is usually turn 1, or for this version of the circuit at least. A corner beginning there, which is a really fun downhill. It would be pretty cool if eventually when Long Beach gets another layout, because they seem to change half a dozen times. It would be cool if they could bring back that hill. There's a bit of difference, you know. Okay, to second gear, to third. We're just finishing the hot lap, well, just finished the out lap, about to start the hot lap. Let's see what we can do in this Grand Sport Roadster. Braking in plenty of time there. Actually go a bit deeper if I wanted to. Too much walk on the exit though. Gonna have to take that out of my technique. Oh, big bounce off the curb. So this version of the track is quite an old one. I've attributed it in the description to a user called Jill75, but I think it's been around since R Factor or potentially F1 Challenge or something. I have no clue, but he's the one that ported it to Assetto Corsa, and he's done a pretty good job with it. I don't think you can even get it from him anymore. His website is, you know, shut its doors. But you can see that some of the curbing, especially in the Pine Avenue, just after the next hairpin, those curbs are definitely rough. The old school sim racing curbs. But in the Assetto Corsa, the wheel can get stuck in it and that can be a whole load of issues. So gotta be careful with it. So already this Corvette has taken the wind out of the Mustang. Mustang did a 143.2. But yeah, this thing is fast. Can we do any better on our next 2 hot laps? Doesn't quite how far I missed the corner here, maybe not, but once we don't spin out here, we will get some time back. Keep it going. Going up the hill again to the open corner. I don't know if it was called that. There. Second gear, third. 190, 200 kilometers an hour. Braking fairly early, quite sideways nonetheless. It's really a better exit out of there. Slight tap of the barrier, but nothing too bad. So what would help the turn? Too much turn. There's too much turn. Okay. We'll have to work on that next time. Definitely have to work on that. Okay, the second hot lap. We get a 141.4, so that is faster than before. which is super even with those mistakes. One more go, can we beat it again? Beautiful sounding car. Even if you're going at a snail's pace around a Mickey Mouse style section, it is an absolute joy. And the GTC 60 mod pack is absolutely superb. So it sounds good and it looks good. So it can feel good too. They put in so much effort, and it really does show. Okay, so braking around about 120 there. Oh, massive errors there. But we didn't hit anything. Kept mostly in the right direction. And we are hooking it into the Indy left. We touch apex again. Just about can. Having to be careful with the throttle, just end a bit. Come on. Please, come on, get a good exit. The third gear. The fourth. 200 kilometers an hour. Do 10, and that's a 141.4. We only just beat our last time, only by a single hundredth of a second. Okay, just want to have a look at this thing. So yeah, it's definitely an older looking version of this track. But, with Soul and Pure and all of these other mods, you don't really notice. See how nervous this car can be around some of the long, very fast corners there. Down Shoreline Drive. Going into the proper city of Long Beach here. I don't know if it's a district of or just near to LA in California. Such a fun track. There's so many different variations of it that whether you're in Assetto Corsa or you have the modern one in AMS2, whatever it is, it's just so much fun. Oh, you can see how sketchy it was there. Okay, so let's go on and vibe this all up. So that was a 141.43. Which is not a bad time at all. There was definitely mistakes, but yeah, it's a good showing for the Corvettes, the first two at least. And with that, we finally have our first, second, and third. Our first podium. And as you can imagine, the Corvette C1 here, that's not going to last long at all. You got far faster cars coming up. I feel like the Grand Sport could do pretty well, just because of how it is. But then you're going to get the Group 5 DTM card later, and if I can keep that in a straight line, it's going to win. But we'll cross that bridge later. So up next we have the Shelby Daytona Coupe, the Ford-powered V8 engined machine. It's again part of the World Sports Car collection, and I haven't had a go at this one for a while. Apart from a bit of quick testing with the first C1. A lot of this I'm just going into fresh, just because I thought the car looked good. So we're going to have to see how well I do here. I'm just going to show this car off and then... There we go, that's the button. Just take a quick sip of water. Excuse me. Okay, so... It sounds angry. I like it. Whilst I didn't see this car, I did see a Ford Mustang about 2 weeks ago. I was at Silverstone and it's just such a giant of a thing that when you walk past it, it goes on forever. Previously, it might have even been the same car, but I think I saw I saw a Mustang a year ago, and if you know anything about Silverstone, it has a corner called Cox, a fast right-hander, which is just after the old pits. And as I was standing on the outside of Cox, the Mustang tried to take it, and its tyre just fell off. The whole back section, the rear left section of that car, just decided to just give up. It's such a beautiful looking thing that it felt bad seeing it in, bits. But there are a few cars that I've seen recently that I was thinking about putting onto this competition. I did add the Lotus Elan, but I saw one of the old Formula 2 Lotus 25s. There's been Lolas, old Bentleys and things, so it's been really fun going to Silverstone and seeing all these cars, helping out a bit, and just seeing people really loving racing these historics in real life. Most of these people, if you do get a chance to chat to them, they love their machines, so if you start talking to them, they're quite excited. Okay, so we take this Daytona all the way to the final hairpin, at least on this, let's call it the final hairpin. We make our way to the finish line to start our proper hot lap. Easing off the throttle, the car did not want to turn that much at all. Oh, sorry, good catch. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for that. I've been tweaking everything on my streaming software, and you would have thought I would have remembered to get everything in a good order. Okay, so I'll show it again. This is the lovely Shelby Daytona. It is a beautiful looking car that I haven't seen yet, but I would like to see it racing at some point. I don't know if anyone in the UK actually races this thing. So, oh yeah, no problem. Apologies for taking so long. We call this our outlap again, so you get to see the hot laps. I don't know what to make of this car just yet. in some ways, compared to the Grand Sport Corvette, it feels nicer to drive, but then other points you get this massive amount of understeer, and I don't find that the throttle is helpful to take around those corners. So, if we ignore the first attempt, this is our first proper hot lap. Make it down to Queen's Hairpin. Yeah, I think for a V8 engine, well, a V8 powered car from the 60s, it's not as twitchy. You know, you don't need as precise a throttle control to deal with it. It just does struggle with understeer. Going down to per corner, braking around about 150. Just be careful, because it's so easy to spin there. That's a car wants to go down the hill in any direction, really. Coming to the hairpin once again. From first gear, changing gear at 116 kilometers an hour. Definitely going to break 200 here. How fast can this thing go? That's a 141.1, so already it is faster than anything else so far. Didn't expect it to go so well, to be honest, but I guess that's the purpose of a fairly controllable car, you know? Down Pine Avenue, if we can. We do need the throttle there to help actually get into it. Going up the hill again towards Toyota corner. With the bits of 8, but slow as smooth as fast and all that, so just keep this thing steady. The Indy left. We would in the modern day would take a hairpin about here. It's a bit late over here, which I don't really mind. I think it's a bit easier to deal with compared to the modern version. Third gear. That's a 140.23. I think I messed that corner up, but I was trying to look at the speedometer, and it seems that this car isn't actually that much faster. It's just I can handle it better. I think that's the main thing. Off the curb, getting a bit too unbalanced there. Thankfully, no track limits to deal with here. That's a bad line. Don't think we're going to break 140 here. I didn't realise we were going to get towards 130s so quickly. Sorry, I was super loose there. turn. Yeah, I've definitely messed that up. Spin it around. And for the final time, from first gear to second gear, the third gear storming up at 180 kilometers an hour, 200, 210, and we were faster, 140.21. That is a surprise, really. I did not think we would do that well. So, you can see the display this time, which is a lovely thing. Anyway, if we have a look at this, a 140.21 will definitely put this into first place. And by quite a margin. But of course, with all of these older cars, everything's with quite a margin, you know. You can do an amazing corner and you can gain most of a second there. So up next we have the last of this, old sports car section. We have the Lotus Elan. Don't think it's going to work, but if you think about the Lotus Elan, I think it's one of the most successful British sports cars, I think, in history. I might be wrong on that, but it's just that it can corner so well, and if you can corner well, you can stay on track and all of these other things, which means you get to the finish line fast. There's maybe too many straights here, so I think the Daytona's gonna keep its position, but we'll see. Just before I do anything, you might notice this Elan does not have a roof. This is the SCCA version, the American Sports Car Association, something like that. The Elan did go to the States to fight, but one of their, I guess, weight-saving measures was just to take off the roof. So it's quite an odd-looking thing. But yeah, you can feel how exposed you are here. I don't think we even have a proper windshield. Okay, let's get out to the pits and see what we can do. These corners feel so much easier. The tyres do not complain as much as the American Fords and Corvettes. Chevys. But let's see what top speed we can do. The other cars, they could get the heights of about 214, 216 kilometers an hour. Don't know what that is in miles an hour. Let's say around about, what, 160? No clue. But this thing holds its own. I mean, yeah, we only just hit 200, but we might have altogether better average speed because of that. We can keep better momentum around the corners, and yeah, that's my scientific estimate on how we're going to do here. It just, the tactics we're going to need to use against the brutes like the Daytonas and the Mustangs. Cornering very early there. It feels like this track is 2 times wider just because of how small this car is. I don't even know if sports cars did race here in period. So I know IMSA has later come over to Long Beach, and I'm very excited to see the upcoming IMSA Long Beach event that I finally nearly watched all of the spring 12 hours. You know, played and paused and things, and I've seen everything apart from the last 20 minutes, and it's got so exciting. Okay, for the first hot lap, let's see what we can do. What we can definitely do that the other cars couldn't is really hug the barriers. That is very deep, way too deep. Yeah, I can definitely place the car in better ways than anyone else so far. Through Pine Avenue fairly cleanly, trying to avoid some of the curbs. We'll just unbalance it too much here. Third gear. Can we get to fourth before Cooks? We can. And importantly, we can still stop for the corner. Wide on that one. But we do get the second apex, even if it's a bit of an unorthodox line. So down Shoreline Drive again. And in front of the many grandstands of people, loving to see this Lotus Elan. We get a 143.3. I think if we improve our momentum, we can do even better. Yeah, it might not be the fastest on the straights, but we can do things the other cars couldn't, so... Yes. A nice surprise from the Lotus to do so well so far. I don't know if we're in second or third place for that time, but I'll have a look. So once this is all over. Climbing up the hill. Sliding round Toyota. Gentle through here, see if we can help this next corner out a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. That one was far more shaky though. I'm gonna lose time because of that. That whole section felt so much better. Bit of a lock-up. Okay, so last time it was a 143. Can we get a 142? Can we do better? Let's find out. We got a 142. You know. Let's give it one more shot. Fairly clean braking that. Looking after the tyres as if it matters on a competition like this. Recently I've been playing a bit of Le Mans Ultimate and I've been trying to master the LMP2 cars as well as everything else, and trying to deal with a car like that without ABS is it's been a bit of a challenge. I've moved parts of my sim rig around. I've got the Allen keys out and everything to try and improve my braking. For the braking, it's a bit more of an S shape instead of just a straight up X equals Y line. That seems to have helped so much. I can brake at more constant levels than before, which usually means fewer lockups. So because of that, I've been enjoying Le Mans Ultimate even more, which is really fun. I do love endurance racing, so yeah, it's great to see it. Great to see a proper game for it. So we couldn't get that much faster this time. In fact, we were slowest. But with that previous time, let's see where we are. Again, I don't think so. We definitely are not in first place. But can we beat P2? Let's have a look. So we achieved a 142.44. Okay, so we are in third place with that. Not a bad time. Especially for a little British underdog. Nice. So that's the end of that category. There, you can see that the Shelby Daytona and that Corvette Grand Sport Roadster, they are dominant with the long straights and Long Beach. It's going to be hard to touch them. But somehow, this little Lotus Elan has beaten a Mustang and also the classic Corvette C1. Which, to be honest, I only added because it looks so good. And it's a good baseline and all of that, but yeah, it just looks good, you know? But now on to just two cars here to end this first section. So, if you missed the beginning, I am doing a hot lap competition where I have usually about 3 laps to see what I can do without any setup changes or anything like that. With, you know, as a slow tarmac grip and a little bit of wind. I do have cars coming up, so stay tuned for that. I'll be having a go at all of those very, very soon. I feel like this Capri is going to be mind-blowingly fast. Okay, so we are going to have a go at this Group 5 car. If you're wondering where this is from, this is part of the DRM revival, I believe, car pack. It's been around for a while again, but yeah, it's probably class. You just may have to excuse some of the bits of detail on the dash and things. It's amazing how quick Assetto Corsa modding expanded, especially during like COVID and things. All the details and all the usable content shaders patch parts are pretty super. Really exciting, to be honest. So again, with Silverstone, I saw one of these recently, and it just looks fast. It looks so cool. And most of all, it looks like it's not just the machine that's fast. You need a very quick driver. And a very capable one, so you don't throw it into a tyre wall or something. So we're going to give it a go here. I do love the Capris and all of that. This is a 1980 version, but I've seen some mid to late 1970s ones there where a few aero bits and whatever, but still pretty cool. Okay, let's get this show going. So there's a big turbo in this car, so I'm going to have to Haymet, I believe. I feel like going down Cook's Corner is going to be quite a difficult thing to manage. Always need to keep the turbo cycled. As it also can impact on some of the shifting, where you think the next gear is ready, but if you go into it too early, it will just bog down like nothing. Speaking of nothing, I had no brakes there. Okay, so let's see how fast we can go here. We're already at 180, 190, 200, 216, 220 kilometers an hour. That is such a step up. 220, 230. I think I saw 235 there. Let's build up that turbo as we go. Don't know how this thing will deal with curves. Although, if it's a DTM machine, you think it should do pretty well with them. Dealing with places like the Norris thing and the like. Bit of a touch of the barrier there. Okay. This thing's a rocket. Actually, if I can actually sort out the braking, it is pretty good. Long corner, but it feels far shorter with this thing. That's the first gear for the hairpin. Can I go in neutral? Must have double clicked. Okay. So that was my outlap. Got 3 hot laps to go if I want to use all of them. Got to the corner fairly well there. Far better turn than some of the Mustangs beforehand. As you may expect from a car 14 years in the future. 66 versus 1980. Hitting that barrier again. Gotta be careful. It's not. I don't have the Lotus Elan, this is slightly bigger. Walking up to third gear. Braking around 150 per Cooks. Second gear for the Indy left. Never feel like I get that corner right, to be honest. But coming up to the end of the first hot lap. .200 kilometers an hour. 220. That's a 134. Wow, okay. That is pretty superb. There's so much more time to be had. Even just working on things like keeping the turbo cycled and not touching the barrier. All of a sudden that's a 133 or 132. Clean that time. Bit of a weird entrance to that corner. Through Toyota. braking later. Hopefully keeping more momentum there, I think. Clipping the curbing. Getting a bit loose. Come on, not too far to go. Oh, that was far too close to the barrier there. But let's get going. Shoreline Drive. The fourth gear. I kind of messed that up there, but that's okay. That's a 133.1. Come on, hold it. Fifth gear. I think we should go again for this. See if we can get a 132. But there's a reason why they've completed so well that for so many years, really. It's a class car, and yeah, at least it, you know, as things go, it's not a bad looker either. Too hot, too hot. Okay, that's not going to help the lap time. Let's just finish the lap and just have fun. Yeah, it's definitely done now. That sounds pretty good. Oh, I slowed down. I went way off the pace there. And I'm still only half a second different. That was a pretty good lap then. So, with that, the Shelby has been well and truly dethroned. 133.18. That's pretty good. I did expect the Group 5 cars to be far faster than the 60s ones, but if you look at the difference, you know, that Corvette C1, 20 seconds slower. That's pretty crazy. So that puts the Ford Capri currently in first place, then the Daytona in second, and the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster in third. The last one out of this category is the Lancia Beta Monte Calvo. Let's just see if I got that right. Monte Carlo, that's it. I'm gonna go for this 1980 version, so from the same DRM Revival Pack. In some of my previous races, quite a while ago now, this car was pretty fast on the corners and things, but on the straight it was outmatched. But can we beat the Capri? Let's find out. That does sound awesome. That's beautiful. A very simple cockpit here. Yeah, bare bones here. Can't remember exactly, but I presume Lancia was in their rally phase as part of the big group with Ferrari and Alfa Romeo and all that. Alfa Romeo would probably get the sports cars, Lancia would have Valley, Ferrari with their Formula racing. At least for a bit. There was a bit of a pact between them. But it's nice to see a Lancia sports car. Actually, just nice to see Lancia's doing quite well in Valley today, the WRC2 class. Barrier. Don't know if it's just because I can see so much, but Lancia fell pretty quick. Bit of a pocket rocket. Okay, getting into Pine Avenue. Don't know if this car was in the World Sports Car Championship of Makes or whatever it was, but it's just nice. Yeah, as I said before, nice to see a Lancia. With flames at the end as I return to cockpit view. Okay, let's see if we can master this car for the first of our upcoming hot laps. Don't know where the hairpin is, but we didn't hit it. We're about to get to second, to third, already 180 kilometers an hour, 200, 210, 220. Ah, better loose there. Not a better time, just keeping things secure. I think I saw quite a similar speed to the Capri. 230. That's pretty promising. Careful with the curbs. Come on. Keep the throttle high. Keep the turbo high, rather. Okay. Up on the hill. Braking late. Around about the 100 mark. Pretty good brakes, or maybe maybe confidence just got me through. Always searching for grip with this car. Trying to see where the car finally bites around corners. Bit slow through the hairpin. Now to 133, basically flat. Come on, hold it. This thing is a weapon. That is an absolute machine. I don't know why I thought this car would do worse than the Capri. It's pretty much outshining it, as long as I can just look after it over some of the higher speed and longer corners. Those are slightly sketchy. That's interesting. Touch the curb, not the barrier. Okay. Second hot lap about to be complete. Can we beat a 133 flat? We come in at a 132.5. Wow. This thing's great. But deeper. Final hot lap. Just gonna have a go because it's great fun driving this thing. That is not the way to take that corner though. Or this one. We'll keep things together. I lost it up the hill. What a beast. What a beast. Let's just take a look at this. I love the flames coming out to the back. Sounds quite nervous there. But once you get it going, it's yeah, it's quite the fast thing. Down the hill, not too wobbly there. I was so nervous about that coming in. I thought it would really unsettle the cars. Hasn't done so far, but I'm maybe about to jinx it. Nice. Okay. At the end of the first part of the leaderboard, which you can see now, 132.57. It's one of the best here. The best here. Here that appears. Well, and we'll just move everything down once again. The Lancia Beta Monte Carlo is a superb machine. If you're able to tame just the car in general, it can really do you well. It can even beat the Ford Capri, which I didn't think it could have. And then finally, in third place, the last one on this podium, the Shelby Daytona Coupe. Or Coupe, if you want to be really fancy. Okay, so we are at the halfway mark. And just going to show you this next leaderboard. So, I thought, we've had a go at the sports cars and the race cars, or at least some of them. Let's do some of the properly exciting Formula racing. So we're starting off with an absolute machine, the Can-Am McLaren, that again part of maybe ACL, but the link is in the description to the THR website, and you can find that there, as well as most of these cars, to be honest. Yeah, these Can-Am cars, it's basically no restrictions. How fast can you go? And, breaking lap records left, right, and centre. So, even though it is 9 years older than the previous Lancia, could it beat it? Well, I guess we're about to find out. But following that up, we have the 1975 McLaren F1 car. And then we'll be alternating with the IndyCar kart, or USAC as it used to be as well, the American style of Formula racing. So we have the Eagle from 1973 with the Offenhauser engine, something like that. I only downloaded this mod earlier today. I had just a quick test to make sure it worked. Definitely a passion project, but I like it. It's good. Then we have the Lotus from 1981, which they were still racing at Long Beach, but this had quite a lot of technology at the time, all the ground effect, skirts and things. Really, really cool piece of machinery. I don't know if it's really built for dealing with the hills. We'll find out. And then out of the last Formula car will be the kart Lola of might be Fittipaldi's car from 1987. So that should be a really fun selection. And then finally, to finish things off, we have the two early 2000s race cars of the Corvette, going back to many generations, and the Lamborghini Murcielago. So yeah, it's a lot of fun cars coming, very quick machines. Just really have to be careful to keep things on the straight and narrow, really. Again, if you have any recommendations for cars to have a go at today, or tracks you'd like to see in the future, let me know here, now, in the comments later, whatever. And if you give recommendations before the end of the stream, I should be able to download the cars or just get Hotlapping, really. So if you want to cater them a Mini or a modern day Valley car, whatever it is, if there is a mod for it for Assetto Corsa, we can have a go. Some of the mods I'd love to have a go at soon enough will be the Sergio Loro's cars. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I had a video all about Sergio Loro's Argentinian cars, the SSA ones, which are really good fun, but very niche. But just because they're niche doesn't mean that they're weird. I mean, they look like spaceships, to be honest. But yeah, really fun cars. And the second pack of that has just come out, as well as the new Buenos Aires circuit. So Sergio Loro has been busy, and I really want to play this stuff. So maybe you'll see another Hot Lap challenge very, very soon. But first up, we have this McLaren M8C Can-Am car. Might have been Bruce's last car. I think he tested this car at Goodwood and then passed away. Yeah, such a raw experience, even in sim racing. So if I can survive this, could be onto a winner. Or maybe I want to beat that Lancia, I've got high hopes, even without the turbo power. But we're about to see. Can it do anything? It's a fairly loud car, so just let me know if there's any audio concerns or anything, and I'll tweak things up. That's like turning, but it's like braking. Yeah, it's not too bad. We'll say, maybe it's because I have the extended physics turned on. Oh, hold on, I'll just show you this. Car finally. There we go. The car's steering angles are slightly off. you know, I turn a little bit, it turns a lot kind of thing. Could tweak that, but I'll leave that for now. You know, like everything else, keeping everything out of the box. No big setup work, unless I am in a barrier every time. Does not like curbs. Okay, good to know. Gentle up this hill, careful with the throttle. Don't think I need to be as careful as I was, to be honest. So, we are making our way towards Cook Corner. Down the hill. And let's get going. Hopefully this car will take that Indy left a bit better when we're actually going for it properly. Okay. Fairly gentle outlap. Not go for lap records with that. Oh, that was fast. I think I saw 260 kilometers an hour. What a pure powerhouse. Into second gear, entering Pine Avenue. Please avoid the curbs, or take them nicely. Yeah, just about. We're way too tentative. I will have lost so much time through that. Okay, already 200 kilometers an hour. About 230 there, maybe just slightly less. Slightly loose down the hill, but we're okay. Down to the east hairpin. Can't really get the throttle down. Gonna lose a fair bit of time because of all of these mistakes. But we come in at a 129. Wow. Thought it'd be fast, didn't think it'd be that fast. Big hit on the against the barrier, but it was a side impact, not too bad. Didn't kick us weird directions. Can really hear the tyres on this with this mod. Another mistake. Again, feels even faster. Bit of a lockup and a very weird looking brake trace. Okay, towards this Indy left. Gentle throttle. And then back to the hairpin already. This thing is pretty cool, I like it. Used to drive this thing a fair amount and this happened for a while. Very glad I'm picking this up again. 127. And for how fast it's going, the brakes aren't half bad either. Taking the curb this time. That felt fairly good. and in the direction we wanted it to go in. We make our way out the corner. The third gear. The fourth. Brake. Come on. Ah, big hit. Thankfully, damage is off, so the only thing we've lost is time. Maybe a bit of pride as well, but we keep going. Okay. For the final time for this car, we get a 126.9. Whoa. What a thing. What a beautiful McLaren. That's also pretty fast. Okay, so I will be back in just a second. I will put on the replay so you can enjoy this for just a moment as I get some water and things. Okay, I am back and refreshed as we see that knock into the barrier. It's such a great looking car, it's a shame that happened, but what a speed demon. Yeah, I knew it'd be fast. I did not think it'd be that fast. Okay, let's take this back to the leaderboard. And there we go. The 126.98. Now I thought that that previous Lancia was quick, but yeah, so much better. It's such a crazy car to drive. Can-Am is just full of amazing technologies and absolute risks. Super dangerous series, but it's remembered fondly because of just cars like that, Anyway, up next we have the McLaren M23 from 1975 Formula 1. This is the year that I believe Fittipaldi and who else? Fittipaldi and Jochen Mass were driving this car. Lauda ended up winning in 1975, but the year after, this would have been James Hunt's car, still as the M23. So, it's a pretty awesome car, very bare bones Formula 1, but pretty awesome. Unlike some of the others, haven't yet seen this one. Would love to. Anyway. Hopefully that isn't too loud, I'll just tweak it again. Go for something like that. And away we go out the pits. As you can see, it's this pit straight is not where the modern one is. Don't mind it up here, just you have to be careful going down the hill. Especially if you have cold tyres or anything like that. For this car, if I can keep a better traction, be pretty awesome here, but I can imagine it taking the hills fairly well and maybe not the bumps. On straights like this, can we beat the Can-Am's about 260 kilometers an hour pace? 230? We can go flat here. We just hit 260. 270? Yeah. Wouldn't you know it, Formula 1 car is pretty quick. It can corner as well as a Can-Am car. It weighs, if I had to guess, yeah, but... That's part of the joy of doing these hotlapping challenges. You never know how one car is going to be against another. Is it going to win? Is it going to be demolished by someone else? The only thing is just trying to keep it all varied and not do too many of the same cars again and again. Clobber that barrier. Been a bit silly there, to be honest. Okay. Down to the hairpin, which is in a different places compared to usual. Beautiful sounding car. I think it's one of the cars that got the most attention in this F1 75 mod pack. And if you go to a march or something, you can see it. Few more issues with it, but this McLaren is just super cool and super well loved. Gliding through the entrance to Pine Avenue. Sliding on the exit too. Gotta be careful here with the lack of grip. The third gear. The fourth. Braking just before the 100. It felt very clean, very easy. May mean I can brake far later than I did. Oh, super sideways. But we hold on to it. We've already nearly completed our lap. The third gear, the fourth, the fifth, and that's a 125.3. So can anything beat the Can-Am car? Yes. think I hugged the inside for a bit too long there. Using the throttle to try and tame this car. Or try and deal with the lack of traction. Just kick the rear out by using the accelerator. Too early. That's a shame. But we didn't lose that much time, so come on. What can this Fittipaldi McLaren do? Coming up to the end of the second hot lap, we get a 124.1. Even faster. Very late on the brakes there. Don't have to worry too much about that. Not dealing with a full length race or anything. Too loose. Just getting slapped from one side to the other there. That was a bit rough. And hopefully you can hear this. My game's just crashed. Yep. And that's okay, because I was not going to be able to beat the previous time. I'll leave that one there. So, we got a 124.15. That is, yeah, quite the pace there. So, 1, 5. Then save that all up so you can see it. So, that is, yeah, what a machine. And then up next, we are going 2 years back, but across the water, and having a go at this Eagle car, the USAC version, which is, I think, what IndyCar or kart used to be called. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's a whole new world to me, to be honest. Only downloaded this mod today, and I'm quite liking it, to be honest. With the sincere lack of practice. These kind of cars just look so cool, and you can see this now. It's very pure, you know, you can, like the 1975 car. You can see all the engine and a bit of fiberglass or whatever. That's it. That's all your protection. Just gonna listen to the audio. It definitely has audio. And just give me a moment here. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are here again with this interesting Eagle, a very powerful car, and it's a pretty cool mod. You can tell it's a passion project, but yeah, beautiful thing in its own right. So you're gonna have to be careful with the throttle. It is very spiky. Gonna have to keep my gears quite high here just to deal with that, but important question, if I can get around the hairpin in one piece, how fast can we go? That sound. Oh, it does not want to turn. And also does not want to brake. Okay, good to know. Oh, this is very interesting beast. Gonna have to be careful here. As long as we can get a sort of lap time, we'll be happy. Doesn't have to beat the McLaren today. Should have broke way earlier. Yeah, but this thing is... yeah, it's a challenge. Don't know if any of you have had a go at this, but... yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. As I keep saying. Let's get down this hill. There we go. I think I picked the proper road course version of this, rather than the oval one. At least, I hope I have. It's like, I'll make this even more difficult. Oh, just the smallest blip of acceleration there. Hits it. Okay, the third gear. Come on, can we turn? A bit of a left off, we can. Very early on the brakes there. This car needs a bit more focus than some of the other ones. So please excuse me during all of this. They're not going third gear though. Up that hill, that it totally struggled. Okay, past Toyota corner. Early for Cooks. Found the Indy left. Come on, little eagle, what can you do? Bit of a drift again. But we're facing the right direction. We can turn to keep going that way. So 127.39. And that might be one of the only times we get hit. Oh wow. I suggest anyone have a go at this car just to have a go at a challenge. It's not easy at all. Okay, so into third gear. Quickly to fourth. We don't hit anything. We nearly did though. Oh, just a few more corners to go. Early for third. Still go deep though. Full of mistakes, but if you're able to, yeah, tame this thing, you could do pretty well. 124. Yeah, you can be super fast with this thing. Don't think the car would have liked going to first gear there, but we did it, and yeah, we survived for now. back up the hill if we can hold on to it. Really missing that grip right now. Too much. I think I'll leave that one there. That is a ridiculously difficult car, but I love it. So that was a 124.75, which puts us into second place with this thing. Didn't know indycars of this period were so powerful. Thought they, would be quick and everything, but yeah, you have to be very careful with that thing. Up next, one that should be slightly easier, the Lotus 88 from 1981. It's a ground effect car driven by DeAngelis and Mansell. It may look a bit weird when you see it in just a moment. It doesn't have that front wing, doesn't need it. Gets all the downforce it needs from all the skirts. So, yeah, it's quite the odd looking thing, and especially compared to, F1 cars in just a few years' time. It's definitely of its period, And of course, before, this was a successful car, but very quickly it was, I think, banned by the FIA, or what it used to be called. Not part of F1's world for too long, but of course ground effect did come back for a while. So you'll see in a moment that the whole car goes up and down, separate to you, but responding to the track beneath you. It does look a bit weird when you're first having a go at it, but you get used to it fairly quickly. So much better in just, I think, every way there. The brakes were better, the turning was better than the Eagle car. But is it faster? I mean, what's it felt quick there? I think just the average speed would just be so much better than that Eagle indycar or USAC car. This car has a lot of grip. Even with, I've put settings on to reduce it. I'm on a slow tarmac, also known as 96% grip. If you're interested in that, bit of wind as well, but I'm not really noticing that with this car. Maybe that's just because I had such a different route of a thing beforehand, but this feels so light. It feels so much better. Fun in very different ways, Around the east hairpin. The third gear. The fourth. Not a bad outlap, to be honest. And here we go. Go to the west hairpin, the Queen's hairpin. Definitely brake later. That's good to know for next time. Mostly stuck in first gear here, but who got up to second every so often, but through some of the twisty bits, That's all I need to have, really. First gear, it's very stable and fast down there. Driving Mansell's car, of course, he went over to the States. He drove IndyCar for a bit. Was it 1995? He did. Was his championship year? Something like that. So he drove the IndyCars. He did very well with it. Surprisingly well, I think, to be honest. But speaking of surprisingly well, oh, ignore that crash. I looked at the time. Okay, so that was a 119.7. That is, yeah, pretty cool. I like it. I'm gonna give it one more hot lap because I wasted time with that incident. 119, and this is a very futuristic, early 80s car. But there's a lot more pace to come, so can we get to the 115s eventually? Maybe. Okay, nice and calm through that section. No big incidents that time out. It's a very controllable car. I mean, it was my error, not the cars, that stopped things earlier, but the early 1980s and the late 70s and things had so many weird and wonderful F1 car designs. It'd be awesome to see even more, but that, of course, that takes so much time and effort. Okay, so we have one more hot lap to go. Let's see what we can do. So, fourth gear, we are getting towards 260 kilometers an hour, just hitting it. Braking at around about 150, but yeah, I can definitely improve upon that. Pick the first gear through this Pine Avenue. Okay, so we are up at the top on Ocean Boulevard. Making up that 100, going down to first again, which just seems crazy, but it's fast. Not the best corner. But for the final time, if I avoid the barrier, we get to see the Lotus 88's best time, hopefully. What can this 1981 Formula car do? It went nearly a second better. Of course it did. Of course it did. 118.7. Nice. So let's put that onto the leaderboard. That is a mind-blowing time, mind-boggling, all of those things. It's nice to see that Lotus. Again, yeah, haven't really wrestled with it too much. So, was that... Did I give the best time there? Give me a second. Yeah, 118.72. Cool. And with that, I guess I should put on the current leaderboard. Podium, as it were. We are very close between second and third, between the McLaren and the Eagle. It's nice to see Formula 1 and IndyCar kind of battling the position here. But which one's faster? Here, is it going to be the more modern IndyCar from 1987, or the ground effect Master from 81? Okay, so this Lola is the Chevy engined version. This version is also Fittipaldi's, so we've driven his F1 car from 1975 and about to drive his newer IndyCar. Of course, he was in IndyCar for quite a while. And yeah, did he win? I think he won quite a few times. Very cool stuff. This is another mod by the same person that made the previous one, so let's hope I can keep control. Gonna turn this way down, hopefully this is better, but let me know if it's too quiet. Okay, it feels like a good amount of grip here, but not as perfect grip as the 88 beforehand. Brakes feel pretty okay, but haven't tested them in anger yet. Quite a digital sound to the audio. Bit of a kick there, around the corner. I could definitely brake later than the older IndyCar, or you know, American Formula car. Up the hill, past the old pits, 240 kilometers an hour, even faster there. Down Cooks. Very wide line down the Indy corner there. But can we sort out this hairpin? That is so much easier to control. That feels so much better than that previous Eagle. Very fast outlap here. .150 seems to be a fairly good marker there. Seems to leave me enough time to let go of the brakes and keep momentum. Throttle up the hill was too much. Come on. Okay, this will be a bit scuffed, but let's see what kind of baseline we can get. Okay. come to the final corner before the finish line, even if it's not the actual start line as well. We get a 119.1. Not a bad time. Not as fast as the F1 car. At least, not yet. Keep it smooth through here. Don't do silly things like that. Come on, hold it. There we go. Sketchy going up the hill again. Totally missed that corner. Fifth gear. Very briefly. Far better around there. Don't think this felt too much faster, but definitely more control than before. So let's see what we can get. That's a 118.5. Come on, one more lap. What can we do? Okay, that is pretty okay. Gotta be still very careful of those curves, so didn't trust them. Pressure up that hill by an absolute mile. Braking at the 100 marker there. Getting a bit bolder as I go. Hopefully I don't make too many mistakes that ruin things. Like that. Okay. We've got a 118.5 before. What can we do here? 117.1. What a lovely looking car. At least to me. And what a fast time. Let's add that to the leaderboard. So with a 117.1, 1/6, if you really want to go that far, the Lotus has been dethroned. Okay. That is a pretty superb time. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I could go faster, but I think without Lola, just by being smooth, yeah, you're doing pretty okay. Don't shake the car up too much and you'll do very well. So as we look at the list of the Formula cars, there's it's quite a show. The Formula 1 cars seem to do pretty well, but the Lola, with a few more years advantage on them, being from 1987, has outshone everyone else in that Formula League. I thought the Can-Am car could have been a bit of an underdog. I know it's a lot older, but just because of how unrestricted and free it all was, I thought it could do very, very well. And it did okay, but just not compared to how quick everything changes in Formula 1 and the many different versions of IndyCar, kart, USAC. And we have 2 more cars to go now, but we are skipping way into the future towards the the Corvette. As we saw before, we've had a few Corvettes, and they do quite okay, but this thing is the most modern, being from about 2005. So even if it's not a Formula car, it should do very well. As long as I can get over the hills and whatnot. So here we go. This is the Corvette. Is yeah, compared to everything else, it may be 20 years old, but it's futuristic compared to the stuff from the 70s. How loud is this? That can be kicked up. Maybe something like that. Then, in-car. Yeah, sounds good. This is from 2005, so this is part of the end of DT1 and things, just before the dawn of DT3. Eventually I do plan to do a video on how things changed with that, but Corvettes, especially in America, they do tend to do pretty well, even if they kind of come out of nowhere sometimes. They may not always be at the top for the whole time, but they sneak up the pack. Don't know how they sneak with an engine like this, to be honest. A lot wider compared to the Formula 1 cars, or at least feels like that. So if the 1987 car could do a similar amount of speed down the main street, but achieve a 117, what can this thing do? I didn't check the weight or any other stats there, so this is all a bit of an unknown. What I do know is that, well, thought I knew, that we could take curves, but it definitely got unbalanced there, more than I expected. Kind of struggling for second gear most of the time. We're up to 190, 200 kilometers an hour. I think I saw 218. Shaking all the way down the hill, past Cook's Corner. That was a very messy hairpin, but this is that outlap, so that's okay. We can make the mistakes here, and hopefully we don't do them again. Blindingly fast, well, maybe not blindingly, down Shoreline Drive. Corvette just able to pick up and down the gears very easily. That curve again. Okay, good to know. Please avoid that thing in the future. Bit of a slide. We avoid the barrier, but drifting will not help us here. And a second. Give us more space here. To the final hairpin. So we make it back onto the proper straight. Well, this will not beat the the IndyCar or the kart car. Can't be the Can-Am car. It's a 127.1. Did not expect that. I thought that years of technology would make this one of the fastest things out there, but no. These barriers are super close. Didn't hit them that time, but so easy to. But we don't do a burn out there. You know, don't have as many style points now, but oh well. May have gained some back there, but made a hash of that thing. Go to fourth gear, and then all the way back down to 1 again. Okay, climbing up the gears to 4, 5th, 6th briefly, and that is a faster time, 125.38. One more hot lap, what can we do? Okay, exit. Took the bump, but wasn't too bad. A bit more throttle hair there, and we made it through the Toyota corner. Down to Cooks. Bump, bump, bump. Bad line for the next set. That's going to slow us down here. Bad exit. Okay with that. We achieve a... oh, well, please, because I started too early. A 126.35. Okay, not what I was expecting there. That is a bit of a surprise, but... good fun time there. So, with that, we just have one more car on the leaderboard left to go. But before I delve into that then, I have to write down this time. Hold on a second. So that was at 125.38. So if the Corvette can do that well, or if that's the baseline set by the Corvette, what can this Lamborghini Murcielago do? This thing is, instead of being done by another modder, I think GTS did the Corvette one, maybe Legion, not too sure. But the Lamborghini was done by Base M Studios, who have an amazing set of cars. And the sound of this one is is pretty cool, if I remember rightly. Okay, we are very quickly into the game. Let's spin this round. This is a work of art. I don't like looking at sports cars and just for poses or whatever. I enjoyed the racing, but It is pretty cool, right? Okay, so bring this into camera view again. Hopefully that should be okay. Feel like this Lamborghini could be faster. We're just gonna have to find out. Once again, gotta remember the transitions. So yeah, this is the Lamborghini I was just showing no one. It's a beautiful car. That sounds pretty awesome. Anyway, let's get back into cockpit view. This car's so fancy, it has a rear view camera. I can't imagine that on a Can-Am car. Okay, how fast can we go? Can we get 250? Just? Yes, we can. 256 is what I saw. I do find that pillar on the left hand side is a bit in the way of the left handers. Gotta make sure that I leave enough space and not hit the barriers like I just did. Okay, so the third gear, the fourth, we're only 200 kilometers an hour. Broke just after 100. Not a bad Indy left. Okay, taking the east hairpin. The final one before we see our proper time. As we are about to start the main hot lap. Hot lap number 1 of 3. Nice and easy through Shoreline Drive. No issues about stability or needing to go off throttle. Keep it flat, keep it fast. Gonna keep messing up the entrance to Pine Avenue. Shaky up the hill. Ah, that was a mess. Absolute mess. Making our way down the hill, through Cook's Corner. Slight bit of throttle and then ready. Getting ready for the next corner each and every time. There's a lot of foresight, you know. Not much time to rest on such a short track. Okay, up to 5th gear. To start off with that, a 126.3. Not a bad time, but we can do better than that. Starting the second hot lap fairly cleanly. Avoiding the curved up time though. Just testing things out. Some cars with the default setups cannot take that at all, as we've seen. Going up the gears. Breaking around about the 100 mark again. Bouncy down the hill. Couldn't get the second apex there. But overall not too bad of an Indy left. Gonna hold tight to the line. What time can we do? That's a 1:24.8. It's our final go, our final hot lap today. Can't remember what time the Corvette did. But that doesn't matter. This is me against the machine right now. Can I beat my time? 1:24.8. Careful up the hill. Yeah, not too bad. Slightly sideways there, but barely noticeable. We make it past the old pits down Ocean Boulevard. Too hot. Once again, got too cocky. The damage is off, so I'm gonna just ignore it for this time. Indy left, excuse me. Once again, missing the apex, but still facing the right direction. Okay, past the final hairpin, down Shoreline Drive, and the last of these Long Beach legends. And we get a slightly slower time, 1:25.04. Let's have a look at some of these replays, because this car just sounds so good. Just gonna have a look at one lap or something. What a noise! This thing's amazing. It's nice to see so many cardboard cutouts turn out for the event. Of course, dealing with an older track, you get older style decoration. But as you're going past it, it is fairly effective. I actually quite like that, you know, when you get like the old R Factor or GTR2 style graphics. Are they beautiful? No, but also yeah. I think that's a bit weird. There we are. Down the hill, bumping all the way. I think that Indy left corner we're just at was one of the hardest ones to get right at least. You can get round the corner very easily. Just I feel like there's so much time I could have gained back. So, I think we better have a look at the leaderboard. So that should be appearing now for you. With a 1:24.86. As I'll just right in front of you. We can see that the Lamborghini has well and truly beaten that Corvette. Whilst it was, you know, half a second or something that time would add up over a proper race. So we come to the end of this leaderboard. We can see that the F1 cars did very well, and if controllable, the American style formulas were also pretty superb. The modern cars didn't do as well as I expected, and neither did the Can-Am, but just the technology in the formulas, the F1, the kart cars, yeah, they're pretty superb. Of course, this all depends on how the modders think everything works. Let's hope this is realistic, but I have no clue. Then if we look back to the start of this, the Lancia Beta, Monte Carlo, was surprisingly dominant. The domination against the Ford Capri, and then taking 16 years back, but you can see that the Shelby Daytona was slower. It was always going to be slower, but compared to the Lotus, the two Corvettes, and the Ford Mustang, that Shelby Ford-powered V8 engine was, the best of its own class. So that is all the racing for today. I have enjoyed it a lot. I should be here streaming this weekend, continuing with the 2001 Rally, the Hardcore WRC season. I'm doing quite well with that, and I'm excited to share some of that with you and see if I can survive the next round, as that's not always a guarantee. Hope to see some of you guys there. But in the meantime, if you want to watch anything and everything historic sim racing, I've got you covered. Whether you want true and exciting motorsport stories, celebrations of amazing cars, or just want to watch someone properly having fun, as I have been today, there's a video or past live stream that's perfect for you. As always, if you have any tips, recommendations, stories, or just fancy saying hi, feel free to leave a comment or a like, but especially with these shootouts, I can hopefully find a mod of if you recommend any cars, or if you want to see any tracks, I hopefully should be able to fit that in for you. Again, I've had recommendations before about having a caterer or some touring cars and things like that. Just shout it out and I'll see what I can do. But until next time, I want to say thank you for watching. It's been so much fun. And thanks for, thanks for being here and engaging. I've been Historic Sim Racing, and I'll see you all next time.